Have you ever felt like you're just surviving, weighed down by the trauma of your experiences? What if I told you that true resilience isn't about enduring pain, but about transforming it into strength? Now, in this episode, I want to discover and uncover the powerful tool that resilience is about: adaptation. Not just survival, but adapting to those situations that come into your life. And as I explore how to celebrate the small victories, lean on your support networks, and reshape your narrative to thrive beyond trauma, it's time to turn your struggles into stepping stones for a brighter future. Today we're going to dive into an essential topic. From surviving to thriving, we're going to build resilience amid the trauma. So in this episode, we're going to explore the profound truth that resilience isn't not just about enduring. It's not about enduring those hardships, but about adapting and growing from them. We're going to discuss how allowing our trauma is a vital step in our recovery, the importance of celebrating small victories along the way, and how leveraging social support can empower you and me to transform our experiences. Plus, I'm going to introduce a practical exercise to help you identify moments of resilience in your own life. Because trust me, my brothers, my sisters, you have resilience there. So whether you're a first responder looking for strategies to build your resilience, or you're someone just seeking inspiration in the face of adversity, this episode's for you. So let's get started on this journey towards strength and healing. Welcome to Shields Down, Healing for First Responders, the podcast supporting those on the front lines as they navigate PTSD and trauma. Each episode brings stories of resilience, expert insights, and tools for recovery, offering hope and a path forward. So put your shield down, reclaim your strength, and remember, you're not alone. So first of all, resilience is not about endurance, but it's about adapting, right? It's not just about powering through or enduring those hardships. It's the ability to adapt, the ability to recover, and to grow stronger from those traumatic experiences. When you can acknowledge that trauma impacts us, but building resilience means learning how to reshape that narrative and move forward with a renewed strength. We're all going to go through times of trial. We're all going to go through times that we believe in our personal lives are going to be a traumatic experience. Each experience that we have is going to have no meaning, or it's going to have so much meaning that it causes us great pleasure or great pain. But you, my friends, are the ones who decide what meaning you give each situation. Right? If you go into a situation, you go into an event or a situation at work, we'll say, that you've never faced before, it may cause trauma for you. But let's say somebody else goes into the same situation. They've already seen it a few times. They've already built resilience around it a few times. Now that situation is going to mean different to them as it is to you because they've built that resilience. They've reshaped the narrative. And that's what we want for you, my friends. We want you to learn to reshape the narrative. So what you want to do is you want to understand that resilience is adaptation, right? We're adapting. Resilience is often misconceived as merely enduring these challenges. I can make it through this no matter what I'm hit with. But however, true resilience is about our capacity to adapt to diversity, right? This means recognizing the changes trauma brings to our lives and finding ways to adjust our perceptives, adjust our coping strategies, and even our goals in response to these challenges. It's not about completely making it through that, but it's building from it. But you have to begin with acknowledging that you're in a traumatic experience, right? When you acknowledge the impact of trauma in your life, it's crucial to build that resilience. It's not about pretending that hardships don't affect you, right? Yeah, I'm strong enough. I built resilience. This doesn't bother me. No, my friends. If it bothers you, that's a wake-up call. That's a good thing. Because then you can be like, look, This situation bothered me. How can I grow? What can I do? Where can I grow forward and move forward from this? Because you're recognizing the changes trauma is going to bring to your life. You're recognizing those changes and you're finding new ways to adjust, right? Because you have to know it's about accepting those experiences as part of the journey, right? This acceptance is going to allow you to process those emotions, right? Learn from them and use them to build stronger foundations for the future. Those strongest, you see people out there that are like, wow, you're so resilient, you're so strong. Have you ever asked them why? Have you ever asked them what scars that they've had to heal to become that strong, to become that resilient? I was talking about resilience the other day to a coworker, and it kind of opened my eyes to see experiences that I've been through, right? Like one of the experiences I've been through is I worked in a funeral home. Now I was a licensed embalmer for 5 years, and I sloughed off a lot of that trauma. But oh my gosh, the things that I have actually seen in my life has caused me kind of trauma. And I didn't really feel that until I sat down and I began journaling and began understanding, okay, what caused this trauma? Why do I feel these different things? And I understand that I have built resilience from going through that experience. I learned to reframe that narrative for growth, put it into a different perspective of what I was doing as a service. Building resilience involves reshaping the narrative surrounding your experience, right? Instead of viewing those challenges as solely negative, oh man, this is going to break me down. This situation is going to bust me up. I'm not going to be able to move forward. You want to reshape it and reframe it as an opportunity for growth. You know what? I made it through that event. I'm on the other side of that now, and I'm going to use that strength to build who I'm going to be in the future. This shift in perspectives empowers us to move forward with that renewed strength, to equip you with the skills and insights needed to thrive despite any of these challenges from your past. Look at each event, each challenge that you go through, my friends, as a small victory, right? And that's how you're going to build it. Resilience is often built one step at a time, right? One small step, building up that ladder into that new life that you vision for yourself, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years down the road. You can see yourself living alongside your PTSD diagnosis. You can see yourself thriving with it. And this small victory is that stepping stone that's going to lead you there. My friends, I've gone through so much in my life, to losing my son, to literally being in a shower, looking at a razor blade going, you know what? If I just sliced across, this pain would go away. But I see that and it's like, I didn't do it that day. I didn't do it another day. And I saw these as small victories for my healing process. I wasn't always like this, right? I went through so much, but I've learned to reinforce that positive behavior. It's built my confidence. It's created that momentum that's made me who I am today. And my friends, I see that within you too. You have the opportunity, but you need to recognize even these small achievements. You went through the event. You're still here and that event is over. Take that as a huge win. Take it as a huge win. Because there are some people out in this world, my friends, that didn't make it through that event. I had friends that went through a tough time, and that was the last time I saw them, because they couldn't face the reality after it. They had so much build up prior that one last event was their last event. You have to create these small victories, right? Doing simple things like a daily self-care task, right? Doing something for yourself. Maybe you attend a small support meeting. right? And this reinforces that positive behavior, right? These are moments that remind you that progress is possible. And it gives you that sense of accomplishment. That you're like, you know what? Yeah, I've done great and I can move forward. These small victories are going to boost your confidence. They're going to push you to that next level. Right? It's a reminder of your capabilities. Right? But you have to learn about them. You have to reinforce those beliefs that these larger goals are attainable, that these stepping stones are going to get you to that success. They're going to get you to where you want to go. And when you see these small victories and they build upon each other, they're going to create that momentum, right? And they're going to hit those significant goals that you want to achieve in your life. But by focusing on this incremental process, you can maintain that motivation. You can maintain that commitment to your recovery journey, right? And you make that path to resilience more manageable and achievable. I know people try to look at that end goal and they're like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to make it there. I'm broken. I can't see myself. Okay, but can you see yourself making it into tomorrow? Can you see yourself setting a goal and saying, look, I'm going to do something for myself today that's going to make me into tomorrow? Can you see that? That's the stepping stone that you want to look at. That's where you want to go to, because that's a life you can build from. A year, months down the road is so far away. That's why I put a lot of emphasis on living for the present moment. The past is dead, right? And we don't want to live in a graveyard. We don't want to go into the past, right? We want to live for the future. We want to live for the life. But the life is today. The life is right now. You don't have to believe that your life is months down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road. Live for your life for now. Resilience is built day to day. And what are you going to do today? Are you going to use the support around you? Or are you going to use people that are there? Those trusted friends, family, even professionals. They're there for you. I'm doing this, my friends, for you. Because I want you to achieve that life that you want to live. Right? You have to build an emotional foundation after that trauma. And asking for help, I don't know how much I can tell you this. It's a sign of strength. When you say, oh my gosh, I'm struggling, I'm here. How do we help you get past this struggle? How do we help you transform the survival into your personal growth, into your story? This is just a chapter in your book called Life. This isn't your whole story. This is a part of it. This is where we want to create that. And there's not a lot of stories out there that the person goes through it by themselves. The stories they have that support. So how do you find that, right? You have effective communication. You talk to people that you trust. Family, friends, professionals, right? This can create that safe space to share your feelings and to share your experiences and to know that what you went through was not a bad thing. How you feel is a normal response to a traumatic experience. No matter what you're feeling, that is your normal. That is how you feel. And if anyone says, well, you shouldn't feel like that, they're not you. I'm going to feel things that you may not feel because I have different experiences. And you may feel things that I don't feel because I have different experiences. Stop trying to compare yourself to other people in this world. There are over billions of people in this world, and we are all individually connected. I love that phrase, individually connected. Because I believe that there's an energy that surpasses everybody. But we are all an individual source of that energy. And you have to learn to be a part of that. But you have to say, look, this is my journey. You can't tell me that I'm not feeling right. This is how I felt. When you begin to ask for help, when you begin to put yourself out there, it makes you vulnerable. But it's actually the most courageous step you're going to take towards your healing. Because you've never done it before. If you've never asked for help, if you've never talked to somebody about what you've been through, this is going to be one of the biggest steps that you're going to take. Because my friends, once you begin to talk, it only gets easier. I've been talking to people, and I still, when I talk about my son, people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you know what? I get that and I appreciate that. But it's part of my growth. It's part of my experience. I had to find purpose for that. I had to find that positive in losing my son. And this is the positive I'm taking from that. The reason I lost my son is so that I could help millions of people not live the life that I lived. To go through an empowering life that they want to live. I know you can do it. But you have to know you can do it. So today's exercise that I want to give you is building a resilience timeline, right? So it's going to help you identify moments of resilience in your past and recognize these patterns of growth and adversity, right? I talked about journaling. You know me, I love journaling. And the reason I journal is that I can look back and say, okay, look, I was having a tough day this day, but this is how I got over it. And I was able to, so I use that as strength. So on a sheet of paper, create a timeline that represents your life, right? So mark down significant events, right? Especially those that face trauma or significant challenges in your life. That's step one. Step two is for each event, write down how you responded initially, right? How you eventually overcame or adapted to the situation, right? How did you conquer that event? Then I want you to reflect. Step three is to reflect on what strategies or support systems helped you through these moments. Highlight the positive changes or the strength that you gained from these results. And then number four, the last thing, discuss or journal how these experiences can inform your current approach to building resilience and new challenges. You're building your toolbox, my friends. That's what this is. You can look back on these challenges and go, okay, I beat that, but I'm faced with something today. And you can look at it. It's like, you know how people always talk about doing gratitude every day because you're focusing on the positives of what you have. Because most of the days we're still focused on the negatives of life and the challenges that we face. We forget that there's so much going on positively in your life. I don't know if you've ever heard the fable about there's a man and he's feeling disconnected with his life, lamenting that he can't afford a car and he had to walk everywhere. So one day he saw someone riding a bike and thought, how lucky that person is to have a bike while I have to walk. And then shortly after, he noticed someone on a motorcycle and envied their ability to travel faster. Now this pattern continued, and he observed people driving cars and luxury vehicles, and each time feeling more dissatisfied with his own situation. But then his perspective shifted dramatically when he saw a person on the side of the road with no legs, sitting by the roadside. He realized, despite his lack of a vehicle, he was fortunate enough to have the ability to walk. Now this encounter taught him to appreciate what he had rather than focusing on what he lacked. Right? You have to see, my friends, you have so much going for you. There is somebody out there that wishes they had your life. No matter the situation you're in, somebody wishes they had your life. There's somebody worse off than you. You have to find that gratitude and be grateful for the things that you do have. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. And I kind of went over the powerful concept of resilience, and it's not merely about surviving. It's about adapting and thriving after trauma. I discussed that the importance of acknowledging your experiences and celebrating those small victories, and to lean on that support network. Taking that first step it's going to be huge in your life, my friends. Remember, though, that building resilience, it's a journey. And it's going to take time and it's going to take effort. But every single step you take counts. And by reframing these negatives and recognizing our strengths, you can transform your struggles into powerful stories of growth and resilience. Thank you for tuning in to Shields Down, Healing for First Responders. Remember, healing is a journey, and each step forward matters. Now, if today's episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories, insights, and tools for recovery. Together, we'll build a stronger, more resilient community. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and we'll see you on the next episode.